From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Tuesday, August 11th. We start today very hot, very humid, very muggy, and with another weather alert. Here's Marcus Bailey with what you need to know.
What we're watching for is in Illinois, and that is going to start sliding down to the south and east. And you can see it gets pretty nasty there. There's going to be a lot of fuel there, and I think we have the opportunity of seeing some pretty significant severe weather with a damaging wind component. That's why we have a level 3 out of 5 risk for severe weather across most of central Indiana here for today. 88 will be your high later on today, so it's still going to be quite a stuffy day. We do have the flood watch in effect until midnight as well.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you might not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Your day moves fast. Your news should too. That's why there's a new and improved Wish TV app, bringing you more local news, breaking alerts, live streaming, weather forecast, radar, and Indiana sports, all in one place. Customize your news feed to see the stories that matter most to you and get the information you need when you need it. Download the new and improved Wish TV app today on iOS or Android and take News 8 with you everywhere.
Happening today, it's $2 Tuesday at the Indiana State Fair. Today's events feature a 4-H dairy beef show, a 4-H cat show at 11:30 this morning, and World Food Championship demos at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Then tonight, Bedford's own Clayton Anderson takes the Hoosier Lottery free stage. That concert starts at 7:30. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett is proposing a nearly $1.8 billion budget for next year. News 8's Kat Sandoval was there as he unveiled it last night. She explains where the money could go, from IMPD to city parks.
It's a packed night right here at the City County Council building as the mayor presented his budget, totaling $1.9 billion. The mayor says it would mark the city's 10th consecutive balanced budget. The proposed budget focused on 4 main priorities: public safety, infrastructure, responsible governance, and quality of life.
From filling potholes to preventing violence, from mowing a neighborhood park to supporting families in navigating housing insecurity, we continue to work for them.
Majority of the budget, about 40%, or $761 million, will go towards public safety initiatives, including funding for IMPD, gun violence reduction efforts, and housing for people experiencing homelessness. The plan also calls for a new IMPD district headquarters on the city's northeast side. Another $530 million is budgeted for the community development and infrastructure, including an update to the Department of Public Works Operation Garage.
This project will result in improved storage and maintenance facilities for DPW equipment, and more importantly, enhanced working conditions for the very people that show up for our city at all hours and in all conditions.
Hogsett also says increases in local income taxes, stormwater fees, and property taxes will help cover the costs. He says these investments will help with Indiana's future.
Defines the budget I present to you tonight, and it is in that spirit that will carry Indianapolis forward in the years ahead.
The city departments will present their budgets to specific committees, and then there will be a full public hearing on September 22nd. Reporting in Indianapolis, I'm Kat Sandoval for Wish TV, wishtv.com.
There were 2 other big decisions at the City County Council meeting last night. The council voted to overturn the mayor's veto on a proposed wheel tax, allowing it to go through. The measure adds a flat $100 annual fee to most cars, trucks, and SUVs, along with a $240 annual fee for larger vehicles that weigh more than 11,000 pounds. The council says the goal is to raise $50 million, so the state will match the money in a grant for road repairs. The proposal to pause new applications for data centers is now on hold. The council voted to add an amendment that clarified the definition of a data center. The proposal now returns to the Indianapolis Development Commission for consideration. If approved, the city would work with experts and community members to finalize development plans for data centers. Reviews would include building heights, sound levels, and electronic waste disposal plans. In Zionsville, the town says a teenager is under arrest for setting an Israeli flag on fire last month. Police say the July 10th arson was at a building on South Main Street and caused more than $150,000 worth of damage. No one was hurt. It caused a big mess, though, on Main Street. Investigators say surveillance video shows the suspect, who was 17 at the time, intentionally set fire to the flag. The case was filed in juvenile court as a felony arson. Investigators say the teenager is now 18. The Boone County prosecutor is asking for the suspect to be tried as an adult. A hearing has not been scheduled yet. Former utility regulator Andy Zay has filed a lawsuit alleging the governor unlawfully removed him from his position. The governor fired Zay last week from his position at the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, citing possible policy violations. But Zay's lawsuit says the governor, Braun, had no cause to remove him. It says the governor removed him because they approved a rate increase for AES Indiana. The lawsuit goes on to accuse the governor of trying to influence the AES rate case both before and after the vote. It's not sitting well with one state representative, Carrie Hamilton.
Frankly, I've been concerned all along that the governor is targeting the IURC as a potential mechanism to get what he wants when it comes to utility rates, which is completely avoiding the reality that the legislature sets utility policy that the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission is then charged with enforcing as the judge in the rate-making process. They don't write the laws.
Zay is asking a Marion County court to reinstate him as IURC commissioner. We have reached out to the IURC and the governor's office for comment, but have yet to hear back. In your vote 2026, a recount has led to a new winner in the last undecided state Senate primary. News 8's government reporter Garrett Berquist explains what happened and why the race is still not quite final.
Spencer Deary went into the recount with a 3-vote lead, but the recount commission threw out a small number of those ballots because they did not have all the required signatures. Copenhaver's run against Deary was the last undecided race from the May primary. At stake was a Senate seat stretching from West Lafayette to the Illinois border.
It's a learning experience by far for everybody that's watching it, everything. The election process is exciting. There's not always a recount. There's not always a recount this close.
State law requires absentee ballots to be initialed by 2 election judges. They also must bear the signature and the seal of the county clerk. The recount commission threw out 8 ballots for Deary because they lacked either the clerk's signature or one or both sets of judge initials. Copenhaver lost 2 ballots for the same reason. Now she is the winner by the same 3-vote margin.
Ballots don't get tossed for, a signature missing from a clerk. It's now going to set the tone going forward for people that are losers of elections that want to overturn them, like on technicality stuff. They just disenfranchise a bunch of voters. Unfortunately, sad.
Copenhaver's apparent win means 7 of the 8 Republican state senators who voted against redrawing Indiana's congressional maps lost their primaries. Copenhaver says she's ready to move on.
So far, the better candidate prevailed. No hard feelings towards anybody who has supported Senator Deary. And at one point in time, I also supported him. But here we are on to a new race, and I am asking for the Republicans and even those who aren't Republicans to rally around behind me and get me across the finish line in the election.
Deary's team plans to appeal to the Indiana Court of Appeals.
Is there enough time to get through the appeals process before the election at this point?
Yeah, there's a stay. There are different legal things that need to occur, and they can take an expedited appeal as well. So it just depends.
If Copenhaver's apparent win survives any appeals, she would face Democrat David Sanders in November. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
2 former Indiana BMV employees are charged with bribery while working at the Indianapolis Midtown branch. Investigators say Gabriella Perry and Winters Van Dyke gave passing scores on written driver's tests to customers and that they never actually took. They say more than 300 tests went through between June of 2023 and February of 2024. Court documents say the two were paid money for each test. If convicted, Perry and Van Dyke could face more than 8 years in jail. More than 13,000 children in Indiana are in the Head Start program, but advocates say a federal proposal would dismantle standards for it. Head Start is a federal program that provides early childhood education as well as health and nutrition services to low-income children and their families. A federal proposal would eliminate standards and safeguards, including Head Start-specific classroom ratios and group size requirements. The Indiana Head Start Association says the proposal would also put access for rural communities at risk.
Rural families are going to suffer very much by the deregulation of Head Start. Head Start programs will simply be gutted in our rural areas. They won't be Head Start anymore. So I worry about the half of the state that live in rural communities that depend on their Head Starts for all of those type of screenings and for early care and intervention. What happens to them?
The Fed says its goal is to empower states and parents while removing duplicate regulations. The proposed rule is now open for 60 days of public comment. It is projected to preserve or expand more than 200,000 Head Start slots nationwide and save $2.2 billion. President Donald Trump signed an executive order reducing the number of vaccinations recommended for children. He signed the order yesterday. It only recommends 12 vaccines, including chickenpox, tetanus, HPV, and polio. The order also recommends the MMR vaccine for measles, mumps, and rubella, but it now will be split into 3 vaccines given at 3 different times. Public health officials say this practice could lead to an increased risk of children getting infected with preventable diseases before they return to the doctor's office. The president also said that the number or timing of vaccines could play a role in rising autism rates, even though decades of scientific studies have concluded there is no link. Even as the order calls for revised vaccine recommendations, states, not the federal government, have the authority to require vaccinations for children in schools. Now to the war in Iran. President Trump says he wants Iran to pay compensation for everyone its military has killed. This comes as Iran issued similar demands for the U.S. over the weekend. Reparations was included in a list of points that must be met before Iran agrees to open the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says they also need the U.S. to end its blockade of Iranian ports, lift economic sanctions, and release Iran's frozen assets. Trump says Iran's negotiators never mentioned reparations until now. The latest back and forth is leaving an agreement on reopening the strait up in the air at this point. The Federal Trade Commission has a warning about refund and recovery scams. It's where someone or a business offers to help you get your money back. Kara Kenny with Indiana's I-Team explains how the scam works and how you can protect yourself.
If you've fallen victim to a scam, you may post about your experience on social media or Google how to get help. But the Federal Trade Commission warns you could end up double scammed.
Losing money never feels good.
Terry Miller is a consumer education specialist with the Federal Trade Commission.
So what happens is the scammer reaches out and says, we know that you've lost money to a scam. They may have details about what kind of scam it was, and they will offer to help. They may say that they are with a federal agency like the FTC, or even a consumer advocacy group or a law firm.
But it's not a law firm, an advocacy group, or a legitimate business. It's a scammer likely using artificial intelligence to sound legitimate.
If they're asking for things like a bank account number, your social security number, or financial information, what they're really looking for is to steal your money and sometimes your identity.
Scammers are taking advantage of people who are vulnerable and want to fix the problem fast. The biggest red flag is if they ask for a fee up front.
Never pay an upfront fee to get a refund. That is not the way refunds work. And again, no government agency or legit company is going to have you pay an upfront fee to recover from a scam.
If someone reaches out to you, do an internet search with their name and the word scam and complaint. A better way to recover from a scam is to contact your bank, file a police report, and a complaint with the Indiana Attorney General. You should also monitor your credit reports for suspicious activity. That will show if they've opened accounts in your name. Experts warn, do not do an internet search for scam recovery or tech support. Why? Scammers pay top dollar to be at the top of those internet search results. I'm Kara Kenny for Indiana's I-Team.
Sports now, the Indiana Fever take on the New York Liberty tonight at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. All-star Caitlin Clark will be able to play after the WNBA rescinded what would have been her 8th technical foul of the season. She would have had to sit out for a game if the foul had counted. Fever have won 8 of their past 11 games, but there have been a lot of outside headlines and chatter swirling about the team and different players. Head coach Stephanie White was asked at practice how she keeps her team focused on basketball.
We're not going to ever minimize it. Nothing that any one of us does is ever going to be, we're going to please everyone all the time. I hope that the biggest thing that we learn is how to be responsive instead of reactive. I think just from a humanistic perspective and life lesson perspective, I think our group does a really good job of responding. I think our group does a really good job of pouring into one another, understanding that there are a lot of folks out there who want to divide us. That there are a lot of folks out there who want to create more challenges for us. And in our locker room, we do a really good job of keeping that outside the locker room. I mean, you guys see it. The vibes are always pretty good in here. I'm proud of them for that. And I think, outside of even just the sport and outside of the job, it serves great life lessons for us as well.
Fever tip-off at 7:30 tonight against the Liberty. The IU Indy basketball and volleyball programs will soon get a new home. School leaders say construction on the James T. Morris Arena is on schedule. Andrew Chernoff takes us inside.
A new era for IU Indy athletics is about to begin.
It's going to be the nicest mid-major basketball arena in the country. It's going to be the newest, and we're excited to fill it up every night, not just with baskets, but also with people.
Progress on the James T. Morris Arena continues on IU Indy's campus as the new facility remains on track to open this fall. The arena will include space for a basketball court or volleyball court, along with locker rooms, training facilities, and offices.
100% a game changer. This eliminates a barrier we've had for a long time here by having this on-campus venue, state-of-the-art venue for our basketball and volleyball teams, and just something as schools are recruiting against us and recruiting against other schools, they can't say they don't have a place to play basketball on campus anymore.
The arena is named after the late Jim Morris, who passed away in 2024. The IU alumnus served in many distinguished roles during his career, like as vice chairman of Pacer Sports and Entertainment.
I tell our student athletes that they're going to learn who Jim Morris is, and we're going to honor him every day when we walk in this building by playing hard and putting up a team that he would be proud of in all our sports.
When done, this place will have 4,200 seats, just 19 rows deep. The goal, to create great sightlines for everyone in attendance, including the students, who will have a great vantage point during basketball games right behind the basket.
A lot of the discussion was how can this contribute to the sports complexes that we do already have in the city. And this is a really unique kind of piece to that puzzle, right? It provides an intimate facility.
The $110 million facility broke ground in February 2025. And as it gets closer and closer to completion, the excitement keeps building.
The question I've gotten as students start to return back to campus is when do they get to go in and practice? We tell them we're still working through some of that, but they're ecstatic, and the whole community has been excited.
Excited as IU Indy Athletics prepares for the future. Andrew Chernoff, Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at WishTV.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.